what would you do? What if loving God with your whole heart meant you had to do something very, very scary? What if it meant facing the biggest, growliest, toothiest lions in the whole world? Would you still do it? Would you still whisper your prayers to God even if the world told you to stop? This is a story about a man named Daniel, and he had to answer that very big question. He loved God more than anything, more than his comfy bed, more than his important job. He loved God more than he was afraid of scary things. And, some very scary things were about to happen. Daniel lived in a faraway land called Babylon. The king of this land, King Darius, thought Daniel was the best helper in his entire kingdom. He was wise and kind and always did the right thing. But Daniel had a secret. Well, it wasn't really a secret. It was the most important part of him. 3 times every single day, no matter what, Daniel would stop. He would open his window so it faced toward his home, a special city called Jerusalem. Then he would kneel down and talk to God. Thank you, God. Please help me, God. I love you, God. King Darius had a big kingdom, and he needed lots of helpers to run it. He chose the smartest, the most trustworthy people he could find. And out of all of them, Daniel was the best. The king could see something special in Daniel. He was honest. He worked hard. He never tried to cheat anyone. The king liked Daniel so much he made him leader over all the helpers. This was a very important job. It meant Daniel was the king's #1 go-to guy. But not everyone was happy. The other helpers, the officials, looked at Daniel with grumpy, cartoonish frowns. Why him? They grumbled in secret whispers. Why does the king like Daniel so much? He's not even from here. They were jealous. Their hearts felt prickly and mean, like a cactus. They watched him like sneaky foxes, hoping to catch him doing something wrong to tattle to the king. They couldn't find a single mistake, not even a tiny one. The grumpy officials marched right into the king's throne room. They bowed down low, pretending to be the king's best friends.
"Oh, great King Darius, live forever," they said in their smoothest, sweetest voices. "We have all been talking, all of us.
The presidents, the governors, the princes, all your wonderful helpers.
We have an idea to show how great and powerful you are."
The king leaned forward, listening. He liked to hear how great and powerful he was. The officials knew just what to say to get the king to listen to their sneaky plan.
"We think you should make a new law," they said.
A very important law for the whole kingdom. For the next 30 days, no one can pray to any person except for you, O king. Anyone who breaks this law will be thrown into the den of lions. King Darius thought about it. He puffed out his chest and felt very important. He didn't know it was a trap. They wrote down the new rule on a big scroll. And once the king signed it, it was an official law of the Medes and the Persians. Daniel heard about the new law. Everyone in the city was talking about it. No praying to God for 30 days, or else you get thrown to the lions. Daniel knew it was a very serious rule. He knew the king had signed it. He knew the grumpy officials were just waiting for him to make a mistake. What would he do? Would he hide? Would he stop praying just for a little while until it was safe again? No. Daniel knew that talking to God was more important than anything. It was like breathing for his heart. He couldn't just stop. So, what did he do? He went home. He went up to his room. He walked to the window that faced toward his beloved city, Jerusalem. He didn't try to hide. He didn't whisper his prayers in secret. He got down on his knees just as he had done that morning and the day before, and all the days before that. He was brave. And just as he expected, the door burst open. In rushed the grumpy officials. They pointed their fingers. "There he is!" they shouted. "We caught him! He's breaking the king's law!" They grabbed Daniel and dragged him away from his prayers. They marched him straight back to the king, their faces full of mean delight. "We told you so," they were thinking. When the officials brought Daniel to King Darius, they said, "This man, Daniel, isn't paying any attention to you, O king. He is still praying to his God 3 times a day, praying in the morning, praying at midday, praying in the evening." When the king heard this, his heart sank into his shoes. He was so angry at the officials and so angry at himself. He liked Daniel so much. He spent the rest of the day trying to find a way to save him. As the sun began to set, the king knew he had to follow the law. With a very heavy heart, he gave the order. The soldiers brought Daniel to the edge of a deep, dark pit. Inside the pit, the lions were pacing back and forth. You could hear their low, rumbling growls. They were hungry. Then, the soldiers threw Daniel into the den. Thump! They rolled a giant stone over the top to seal it shut. The king put his special ring on the seal so everyone would know that no one could move it. It was done. All night long, the king couldn't sleep. He couldn't eat. He just paced back and forth in his palace, worrying. He imagined the terrible roars. He pictured the hungry lions. As soon as the first tiny bit of sun peeked over the horizon, he rushed out of his palace and ran as fast as he could toward the lion's den.
Daniel,
Servant of the living God!
has your God been able to rescue you from the lions?
O king, live forever.
My God sent his angel, and the angel shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me at all, because my God knew I was innocent. The king could not believe his ears. He was overcome with joy.
He's alive, he's alive. Get him out of there. Pull him up, quickly.
The soldiers rolled the heavy stone away. They lowered ropes down into the pit. Up came Daniel. He wasn't just alive, he was perfect. There wasn't a single scratch on him, not a bite mark, not even a rip in his clothes. The lions hadn't touched him. It was a miracle. The king hugged Daniel, laughing with relief. King Darius was so overjoyed and amazed he wanted the whole world to know about Daniel's incredible God. He was no longer angry just at the officials, so he did what kings do best. He made another new law. He sent a message to every single person in his very big kingdom, in all the different lands and languages. His message went out on scrolls and was read in all the towns. And this is what it said: I make a new rule. Everyone in my kingdom must fear and honor the God of Daniel, for he is the living God. He lives forever. His kingdom will never be destroyed. His power will never end. He rescues, he saves his people. He performs amazing signs and wonders in the heavens and on the earth. He is the one who has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions. It was like the king was singing a brand new song, a song all about the greatness of God. The king was furious with them for their cruelty and their sneakiness. Their wicked plan had backfired in a big way. The very trap they had set for Daniel became their own end. And Daniel? He went right back to being the king's best helper. He continued to be a great and important man in the kingdom for many, many more years. But more importantly, he continued to talk to God every single day. He kept his window open. He kept kneeling down to pray. He knew that God was his rescuer, his friend, the true king of everything. And because of Daniel's brave heart, a whole kingdom learned that loving and trusting God is the very best and most powerful thing anyone can ever do.